Today we are back with a mod that grants the most powerful buff of all time, the God Boost. Where in the moment you apply the buff to the tower, it will receive every possible buff in the game that can be given to it, leading to just massive destruction. Highly recommend you check the first video after this if you haven't already. You're not going to need any prior knowledge from the previous episode though, because just like last time, we're going to be bouncing around between random towers that I just feel like testing in the moment. That's it. I think I will try to set my sights towards towers that are more flashy and stronger though. So for example, starting out with the Aesir, I think it's flashy, obviously because of the amount of darts that it just simply shoots out. For crying out loud, we're only at a 200, lots more darts, and it already looks kinda wacky. So you could imagine. I'll just go ahead and get fighter plane, because I kind of want to see what that looks like. It just kind of looks like a giant chunk of missiles shooting out at once. It's interesting, it looks like a cluster, but it's actually just constantly spewing them out, but just in such a pattern that it looks like they're following to their target in chunks. You know what I mean? Also, should be noted that the God Boost does apply every hero buff alongside every normal buff, including Jerry Fire, but that expires after 10 rounds, as you see. With the biggest thing being that, like, every hero buff is permanent, so when you normally wouldn't have Pat Fusty's permanent +3 damage, well, now you do here, including a permanent Homeland 2 that you definitely cannot normally have. So definitely a couple of advantages here that people might consider unfair. Anyway, with all of those fighter plane missiles, our single target DPS is still only at under 1,000. I think this might call for an Operation Dartstorm. Or hell, maybe not. This map is so long that it looks like it takes forever to pop each one, but those meds, I swear those beds are moving much slower than normal. Or maybe I'm just used to really deep free play. I don't know. Anyway, it's time to hop on over to the Operation Dartstorm now, where the amount of darts are increased, the attack speed is increased twice as fast, and not to mention the fighter plane missiles are stronger. Oh, and they also shoot twice as fast, as you see. That is very apparent. I've been leaving on figure 8 in the entire time, but I feel like maybe other patterns might be interesting to look at also. Had I not crossfire with spy plane, because that gives double camo damage, so now DT should be much easier. And I think Wing Monkey is much more interesting to look at. Instead of just a static figure 8 pattern, you can see this just web of darts going as they please. And I don't expect round 140 to be much of an issue, given this thing is like 3 times stronger than a normal fighter plane, right? 3 loops around here, this is taking 1.5. And about 2 of the 3 loops. Clutch? Oh crap. It didn't have enough. Well, I'm kind of surprised about that. My guess is we likely have to have the ODS over the DTs and BADs more often, but that is too much work to milk out of an ODS, so straight to the Sky Shredder. Oh god, my leg. Okay, this might not be playable for too long here. Yikes. What does this thing do that ODS doesn't? Well, pops it like 5 times faster, but I mean, I guess to be fair, this is double the amount of projectiles. I forget if this also increases the attack. It should increase the attack speed of the darts too, but I just didn't think it would go from as smooth as ODS to just as much lag as you're seeing here. Might I also be the only one disappointed that the Sky Shredder's visual isn't anywhere near as good as like the tier 3 and tier 4? Even though it's not shooting slower, just the, I guess, gap between projectiles at fast forward makes it look like they're not as condensed, even when that's not the case. Alright, straight to round 200 we go with the Shredder. Single target DPS. Well, it's hard to see only when it, like, again, the darts have to be on top, otherwise you lose a lot. Surprisingly, most of the damage is not coming from the fighter plane missiles, but from all those god-boosted darts. Whatever the case, I'm pretty sure this is already more than 2 loops, and it's over. I actually thought Sky Shredder would be a little bit stronger than this, but don't worry, there's some stronger towers to test. Alright, next up. Helipilots don't get too much love, do they? At least personally, I don't see much use of them. Starting weak at a quad darts, but again, JFR will be doing most of the work for the first 8 rounds here. Crying out loud, I haven't even crossed path with 102 yet, but now that we do for 25% more attack speed. Wow, I'm actually... I think the Helipilot is getting Pierce capped despite all of the Pierce buffs being given here. So all the sheer volume of ZMGs does push us back a little bit, but with 3 loops on this map, that's still plenty of time. It's also got a much bigger range now, as you can see. I can target it here, and it still shoots out. So why am I even putting it elsewhere? In fact, here's a good spot to just leave it in to start. Also, for the record, I know this is not the best map sometimes for, like, some max buff towers. Some prefer logs that just have sheer track length working for them. But, again, no rhyme or rhythm. Plus, this map looping around is just fun. Okay, I'm not even kidding. The 102 Helipilot might never die at this rate. This has exceeded how far a normal tier 1 tower is supposed to go. But when you think about it, 4 projectiles at a decent attack speed, yes, it makes perfect sense why. Tier 2, actually, because 102. And as such, I don't think it actually should die to 140 here. Nah, who am I kidding? Yep, that's not enough. Straight to Apache Dart Ship we go. Razor Rotors is kind of lame, because you don't see much with it. The Razor Rotor buff damage is nowhere near going to be anywhere strong enough. But now with Apache, you can't even see what HP target that is due to how large those explosions are. But, hey, that's how you know we're doing good damage here. Now for maximum fun value, you want to do patrol target back and forth, so you can see that line. Line of missiles just bounce back and forth. Don't worry, this does not affect our DPS. At least I don't think it should. I'm a child and I just want to see purple lasers, so here's Apache Prime. Now, I had to take it off pursuit because it actually ended up sucking, and it actually still seems to suck as of even this round, but I survived the DT, so that's nice. Now, just for the bads, but man, progress on them seems pretty slow for how many loops they already went through. I guess the single target ain't really there, huh? This is the last loop? No. But we're definitely dead to DTs. No, we lost a couple lives, but still alive. But we're definitely dead to this one. No shot, right? 30? Yeah, it's over. GG, put a fork in us. We haven't really seen much action on spot pits, so how about we try the Druid on spot pits? Now this one's gonna be a deep one, cause, well, Druid's got so many more projectiles than a Helipilot and an Ace does. Especially once you get a Thorn Swarm. Also, had to buy a complement absolute 0, otherwise I can't put this straight in the middle. Which I don't think you need because of all the range here, but it's still nice to have. A nice central spot is very ideal, and even though a JFR has many less projectiles than what a Thorn Swarm is giving, once it wears out, it will still hurt us a lot because the JFR scales with the Druid attack speed. So, now that that's gone, we have lost a lot of our strength. And by losing a lot of our strength, I mean 111 doesn't even get through. This is just one of those towers where I know it's gonna last for a while. Now, one thing I didn't do yet is the fact that you're supposed to get extra attack speed from losing lives here. I think it's hard to leak lives at this rate with this already in the field, so I'm curious if this even works. Can I set the lives manually for this to get more attack speed? No, I've never tried this with mods before, but I'm curious, so let's see, 4,000 DPS or so, drop the lives to 100, and I don't think so. I think I actually have to leak the lives for it to work. Actually, no. I'm taking a look again. The thing is, the difference for Max Heart of Vengeance now is just 40%, because it's 10% attack speed to 50. So not as big of a difference anymore, but still substantial enough to be worth taking. Or maybe, I don't know, the God Boost might already take the extra 40% into account, even if you didn't lose lives. I have no idea. It was hard for me to tell in real time, and also I just realized, did this Druid receive the Prickle buff because it was placed on water? If that's a thing, I just unlocked something for every other land hero I'm gonna test in the future, because normally they don't give this. And so therefore, this tower might be performing 2 times stronger than it's supposed to be. Because listen, as good as Druid is, I don't think it's supposed to be this good. Druid of Wrath now. Well, you might as well actually just buy Populous, because it's the exact same thing. But different visual, that's all. And I must say, I very much like that Druid visual. Nice and dark, pronounced, red outlined thorns. Something about it just makes it feel very powerful, you know what I mean? We're at 180, halfway, but still plenty of track length left. Am I sure I don't already have Avatar Wrath unlocked? Okay, we're dead for sure here, right? 4 bads, 2 buried very deep behind enemy lines. Yeah, we're gonna fall short here so quickly. Avatar Wrath to clean everything up, please. And yeah, that's gonna push everything back a lot, isn't it? I think this thing, yeah, shoots faster than a normal Populous, and, not to mention, has 5 billion times more damage. This thing just kind of feels like a firework that's gone rogue. Okay, not now, but... like, I'm talking about at max color visual, max power. Feels like it's an uncontrollable firework. And now that the balloons have died down, a change of color. That's a really cool thing about Avatar Wrath, eh? The fact that in real time you can just see the attacks slowly dull out, which you'll definitely see once this round dies off here. That dies down to red-orange, dark red, and black. This is the round I got to when I tested Avatar Wrath like many years ago with just vanilla buffs. Not counting every hero in the game, so it should be a much different result this time. You're not a lot closer in 228, but we got enough in the tank, right? Oh god. Oh god, no we don't. The balloons might just weaken, or the projectiles might just weaken too much here for the last part. And wow, it does. That's crazy, eh? And again, admittedly, spot hits isn't that great because the projectiles, or at least in the middle spot, kind of just go to waste a lot of the time. So, I think we can see why that makes sense. Next up, let's head on over to the logs to test the Desperado, because this is actually a tower I have not yet max buffed before. I think for more attack speed, we should do Wanderer, and then Nomad. SMH, you mean the God Boost doesn't give that already? Well, I guess it makes sense, because it's not like a real buff. It's just an upgrade that applies the tower to itself, or the buff to itself, which I don't think really counts as something. Or, I can see why it's overlooked, basically. I thought this one would be interesting because, you know, Desperado doesn't receive max buffs as well due to, like, attack speed not decreasing the shot time between bursts. And that's why Big Iron kind of looked like it was tweaking there, or struggling. Okay, we'll just do Twin Sixes then. And maybe we'll give it an easier round to deal with, like, I don't know, round 74. So much about easy. I purposely said that because I knew it wasn't going to be easy, because it turns every ceramic into a red balloon, but... Fortified's much easier. Okay, never mind. This might be the most pathetic test of all time. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, 75 for the Twin Sixes is absolutely shocking. Actually, never mind, I'm a dumbass. I went back to the Bullseye Crosspath because I just remember that this does like 4x damage when it shoots. Or rather, the crit chance goes up when the balloons are further away, and as you see, it having infinite range will mean it'll get damage crits more often, and crits mean the shots on Sunrise can bypass red immunity, and that's why this time it's a lot easier, so yeah. Screw Wanderer, I guess. The Bullseye is almost always better. JK, even without Bullseye, 76 Rigor Farm kills us, never mind. Yeah, there's a good reason why I never max buffed this tower yet. It just doesn't look good. Blazing Sun now. On the right side, this looks decently fast, eh? 87? Nah, who am I kidding? This looks like literally what a normal tier 5 tower would look like trying to solo these rounds, not gonna lie. That's just legitimately funny to think about it. Hey, at least it can handle round 95. I was almost certain it was gonna die this round, but I'm shocked it didn't. Pretty sure this beats round 98, so there should be nothing to worry about. I actually think there's some legitimacy to, like, cause or pop a bunch of balloons into mobs at once, because the burn tick, you want to spread the burn as long as possible to do overall more damage. And I think that's working. My intentional plan to, which would normally be worse on a lot of towers, because you don't want to do that, actually worked. Because I figured if we just kept damaging or singly targeting one at a time and not spreading that burn, then we would be losing a lot of effective overall DPS / damage. Oh god. Oh my god, we almost died to 101. Okay, no matter what I do though, I think no chance to get out of this round. Close for more burn. No shot though, no shot, no shot. Yeah, that's way too many balloons. Okay, let's try something that's actually fun to boost. Okay, time for the end game. How about just the most buffable tower in the game? NG on NG action with the sprockets into a Sentry Champion, because this engineer can create sentries proportional to its attack speed, and so thus you get this leg fest. Wait, let's try that again. Put on water first so that we can inherit a Brickle buff, but again, I don't know if that actually does anything. Larger surface area and deconstruction for extra damage too, and oh my god. I don't know if this is 2 times. I think this is to double the sentries. I don't think I'm tripping here. I also don't think I'm prepared for the amount of lag that's about to ensue. Yeah, I made a grave mistake, guys. What the hell? Help. Okay, seriously, my PC is so cooked here. What do I even do? Well, I think the only solution is just to power through the rounds, maybe help fast forward through it, but the hitching is definitely no bueno. Not to mention, like, the sentries are gonna constantly replace each other, so this lag is never gonna go away even when there's nothing on screen. Round 140, out of curiosity, is, wow, not even close. So the main sentry has 26 buffs on it. How much does each individual sentry have? 20 of the 26. I believe the only thing the sentries are not inheriting is the double overclock buff and the alch buff. So it's missing about 3 times attack speed that obviously you cannot have in any way. But this is why sentries are simply unfair. They benefit twice as much as other things. So if one tower gets like 10x power from god boosting, then this sentry gets 10 times 10, 100. So even just saying the term gets double the benefit doesn't even put it to perspective, I feel like, for how much more it is. So I've seen enough. Can Sprockets handle the big round 200? It's doing damage levels similar to Avatar Wrath, mind you. I want it to be it so badly. There's one. If I do it as strong, the new sentry spawn will target strong. I'll do that temporarily before putting it back to first. You don't want to put them all in strong, otherwise there's no way you're going to be able to manually target back all 100 sentries that you got here. It's not going to yield much more power than Sprockets, if at all. But I do want to see out of curiosity what a Sentry Expert army looks like. Certainly a lot more funny looking, that's all. We only have 2 types of attacks being, or sentries being spewed out right now. The lasers and the spike balls. The cold, okay, there's cold, finally. If it spawns too many cold sentries though, then this could be bad. Colds do nothing against bads. So this could be less DPS for us, and I feel like it is. I feel like we fell off a little bit after buying the Sentry Expert, so I think we should just go big now on the end game. The final boss, bring on Thanos. And now we'll slowly transform the simply looking nails to a powerful purple plasma of doom. FPS drop about to go crazy here. I feel like we don't really have to finish the rounds, we just have to see how far bats get to know what round we need to jump forward to. 202, for example. Now bats die on the first corner. We can at least enjoy some peace before we start the rounds and, I guess, observe just how many sentries there are here. Wish there was a way to count, but the way I'm hovering over each section right now, you can kind of get an indicator. I don't think it's quite 100, but definitely at least 50 here. Somewhere between 50 and 100. Okay, not an F-bat, but the normal bat on 250 gets about the same distance, so I think we can easily extrapolate F-bat. Probably here, if we're being generous. It's very clear that 300 is going to be enough, so plus 100 to 350. Any sign of struggle now? Well, not even to fortified DTs, it seems. It might be a stretch to say, but with the, like, animations of the, I think, jar pickle effect on every single sentry, it kind of looks like a very intense Aurora Borealis. And yes, I know what an Aurora looks like, and I know it's not even, or not quite that close to that. But there's some resemblance there, you gotta admit, right? Speaking of which, you might think that, given I'm Canadian, that I've seen, like, an Aurora at this point, but surprisingly, I have not. Not even with the large storms that have happened in, like, the last couple of years. I think I was just simply in the wrong place, wrong time. Whether it be not being there, or, I don't know, clouds being in the way. Or really, I don't know, I'm not caring about it, about missing out on it too much. Plus, an eclipse is cooler, I saw that already, so... Also, turns out I am wrong, and 350 might be too much of a stretch. I say that, yet every single frame we're progressing, the Sentry Champion damage goes up by, I kid you not, 200,000. Okay, breaking news, we are popping some bads. Normal bads, I think F-bads probably get us. Looks like we at least held on, survived until all of the round has spawned out, so, I mean, it counts for something, right? In the end, probably got a little bit too cocky about how much I could, how many rounds I could handle with just a single tower, but hey, there was good reason to, seeing how up to 250 went. Not off by much, though. Not off by much. Now, obviously, I want to show you one successful round with the Sentry Champion, because stopping at 250 when it easily could do 300... I think is a disservice. So here's round 320. A round that I genuinely believed the Sentry Champ could handle. I mean, wasn't off by much. And indeed, I was correct. The Sentry Champion was able to fend off decently well, popping the F-pads with like 2 loops to spare, and I think you get the point. Stay tuned, I guess, if you want to see possibly even stronger God-boosted towers. Might be difficult because the Sentry Champion is already really up there, but we'll see.